Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, was pretty good. In all honesty, I was pretty cautiously optimistic about this movie when I first saw the trailer for it. I wasn't crazy about Todd Phillips' past work, and the only thing that really excited me about this movie was Joaquin Phoenix's involvement in it. I honestly love the idea of smaller, character study type films for comic book characters, as I feel that many of them have the potential to be great. And after Avengers Endgame, all I really wanted was this self-contained and satisfying film that doesn't try its best to set up this extended universe. And I kind of got that, but we'll get to that a little later. I really like how this film is shot. There were so many close-ups that gave the film this claustrophobic feel, and a lot of scenes were held for a prolonged period of time. This movie made me pretty uncomfortable with simple things like that, and never felt the need to over-glorify gore or some of the more brutal kills in this movie. The film's score was pretty unique and fantastic, and added to the overall creepiness and anxiety that the film can induce, and of course, Joaquin Phoenix absolutely makes this movie with his portrayal of the Joker. Over this character's 70-year history, he's been portrayed by 8 different actors, give or take, and some of them are less than stellar. However, it surprises me that Phoenix is able to bring something entirely new for the character and give us a performance that might just be the best on-screen Joker I've seen. Maybe it's because this is a movie that focuses entirely on the Joker, but I felt that what elevates this performance is his portrayal of absolute misery. Sure, the other movies show how crazy the Joker can be, but this side of him hasn't really ever been seen or portrayed on the big screen, and it's incredibly well done in my opinion. My biggest issues with this film are with how some of the story elements are told. Without getting too spoilerish, I would say that certain elements are explained perfectly without the need to flat out tell you what's happening, and then the movie just tells you exactly what's happening. I wasn't really a big fan of the inclusion of a certain character in this movie. I understand his importance, but I just felt it was pretty unneeded, and the movie would have been the same with or without this inclusion. On top of that, this movie is about 10 to 15 minutes too long. There was a point where I felt like the movie could have ended perfectly, but the movie kept going after that, and you could tell that it had kinda run out of steam. Now, in order to fully delve into what I liked and disliked about the movie, I gotta really spoil it. So if you want to hear my spoiler-free final thoughts on the video, skip to this part here. I really liked that the Joker's laugh was this mental condition he had, and he really couldn't control it. He laughed when he was in situations that made him uncomfortable, and you can tell that it really hurt him. The slight wheeze near the end of his laugh and pained coughing were fantastic touches as well. It's been noted that once he actually becomes the Joker and realized that he had control over certain situations, this illness would not arise, which I think is pretty cool. Another thing are these stairs featured in the trailer. I noticed that for most of the depressing parts of the movie, he's going up the stairs in a very slow and defeated way. The camera angle is down, making the stairs look like an impossible monolith to climb. And when he becomes the Joker, he dances down the stairs in a triumphant and victorious way, which I always thought was really interesting. So the over-explained storyline I was referring to in my spoiler-free section is everything to do with Arthur's love interest. I found this part of the movie to be pretty well done. Even though I knew what I was watching wasn't really happening, I was still intrigued because of its point of view. It's told super weirdly, as if it's actually from the perspective of a delusional and narcissistic person. I thought the reveal of the truth was pretty good too. But then it does this odd thing where after telling you that these people don't actually know each other and it was all made up in his head, it shows you flashbacks and tells you, hey, remember this scene from 15 minutes ago? Well, she wasn't actually there. I just found it kind of odd and annoying because this movie essentially explains itself twice when it already showed the twist perfectly the first time. I think my favorite scene in this entire movie is the scene in Arthur's apartment where he kills his 5th victim. After he's fired from a clown gig, 2 of his coworkers go and visit him or question him about the murders that start this whole clown movement. One of his coworkers is a little person, so when Arthur brutally murders the taller one and lets the other one escape, he can't quite reach the lock to open the door, so he has to ask Arthur to come and unlock the door for him. I found it hilarious in such a dark and brutal way. This whole scene was so fucking awkward in the best way. My theater was filled with uproarious laughter at such a dark moment. It was really strange. I'm gonna be honest and say that the whole Wayne family angle felt completely unneeded in this movie. It could have been about the Joker terrorizing Gotham without relying on this whole Wayne family element, and nothing would have been different. It could have been this random politician and the movie would stay the same. I found those scenes to be incredibly annoying, and it made me wonder, what is the point of trying to set up Batman if he's not even going to be going toe-to-toe with the Joker? He's like 6 in this movie and the Joker looks like he's about 45. By the time Batman even comes around, the Joker will be like 70. To be fair, I do like how Thomas Wayne is portrayed as kind of a smarmy asshole. He's always portrayed as this strong moral authority type because it's from the perspective of Bruce Wayne, and in this film he's against everything his own son would come to represent, which I thought was really interesting.
What kind of coward would do something that cold-blooded? Someone who hides behind a mask.
The scene where Arthur gets rescued by the revolutionaries worshipping and he wipes his own blood on his face to make a smile was a perfect place to end the movie in my opinion. You have the Waynes getting killed, intercut with a legitimately well done Joker scene, and the movie ends on a perfectly bittersweet note. Because Arthur finally feels like he's no longer invisible, and in a strange way you kind of root for him. But bitter because he's the fucking Joker and he's a terrible murderer that basically won at the end of the day. However, you get this really odd scene in a loony bin that felt added in to the movie in order to give it the 2-hour runtime. Overall, I found Joker to be a wonderfully surprising experience that hopefully is the first of many in smaller scale character studies in the future. Joaquin Phoenix absolutely kills it as the Joker, and it kind of makes me sad that we won't see him portray the character again. I don't think it's a masterpiece as others are claiming, and the film definitely has its issues, but I'm glad I saw it and I'm looking forward to seeing it again sometime soon. And I'm giving Joker a 7 out of 10.